Thanks to all the witnesses for being here. Ms. Cook, I want to say thank you especially to you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for telling your story. And I'm sorry for what you and your family have had to endure. And it's powerful to have you here today. Thank you very much. I want to talk about some of these policies that have gotten to where we are today. Mr. Jackson, if I could just start with you. You were deputy director in the Biden White House for gun violence and a special assistant to the president. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, share, and stick around for more simple and dramatic retellings of big political and celebrity moments.
You're also affiliated with the Community Justice Action Fund. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm also a survivor of gun violence.
You were their executive director. When was that? Community Justice Action Fund.
2021 to 2023.
And you're affiliated with them now?
Yes, as executive advisor.
Okay. The Community Justice Action Fund is. Do you disclose your donors?
Yes.
All of the donors are public?
Yes.
You're funded by the Tides Advocacy Group, among others?
They're a fiscal sponsor.
This is right.
They
That would
handle
be a
our
donor.
HR.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is a George Soros funded group. He's one of the donors.
No.
He's a donor to the Tides Advocacy Group.
Yeah, that's our fiscal sponsor. So they handle our HR, our back office, our operations.
Great. Okay. Great. So in other words, I mean that's
we're one of 300 organizations.
right that they run. You are
Yes,
a
but
subset
we
of
pay them to be a fiscal
Well,
sponsor.
you are a subset of that organization, which he helps to fund, right? Okay. All right. Just wanted to get a level set here. So let's just. I want to ask you about some of the policies that you've advocated because they're exactly what we see implemented in these blue cities, like defunding the
Yes.
police.
No.
You won't believe the heated exchange that happened in this meeting. It started off calm, but quickly turned into a serious reality check. Let's break it down step by step.
Oh, indeed. Let me
That's
just
fine. We
quote to
advocate
you from-
for
Wait,
it.
wait, wait, I haven't asked a question yet. We'll get to. I've got a lot of questions. Believe me, and I'll give you time. So let's talk about this report that you issued when you were executive director, a Policymakers playbook. And I'll ask you to enter it into the record, Mr. Chairman.
Without objection.
Thank you. In this report, you advocate, and I quote now, defunding the police because the long-term goal is fundamentally to reimagine how the state serves its citizens in the project of public safety. You go on to say police departments traumatize residents through a destructive cycle of racist over-policing, and the answer is not to add any more money to police budgets. Talk to me about, I mean, why is it that denying policing to the most vulnerable communities is a solution? I know that's what the blue cities are doing, but why is that a good idea?
Well, look, I in no way stand with defunding law enforcement. I mean,
That's what your report says.
Sheriff Mike Sheridan, who taught me how to drive when I was 16 years old.
Wait. Your report, when
And,
your executive director
as-
said
as-
you wanted
as-
to defund the
as
police, do
deputy
you
director of the
renounce
White
this
House-
report?
as
Mr.
deputy director
Jackson,
of the
do
White
you,
House
do you
office.
renounce the report that you authored as executive director? Here it is.
You're the second senator to bring up an op-ed or
This is an
document
op-ed. This
for
is
my
your
tenure.
report, a policymaker's playbook to reduce gun violence without policing communities.
Okay.
Community Justice Action Fund, copyright 2023, when you were executive director. Now you say you don't know anything about it. Now you say that you haven't heard of it, just like the Democrats who all of a sudden say, oh, we're all for the police. They've been advocating defunding them for years.
Okay, well, you can look at documents or you can look at
My
results.
question is, do you renounce this report now? You say
My
you no longer
answer-
read this.
And my answer is that I led the efforts to invest $42 billion in law enforcement.
You've advocated
if you wanna pull a
defunding
quote-
the police as
you wanna
executive director of an organization that you still lead and are affiliated with.
Never see me advocate for that directly. What you see me
So,
advocate for
what is this
a
then?
comprehensive approach to reducing
Right.
violence.
Comprehensive
Recognize
approach is
that
defunding
law
the
enforcement
police,
is a
which
part
is
of
what
the
this
ecosystem
says.
the entire time.
This is so typical of what the Democrats do now. After your policies have transparently failed and led to the deaths of millions of Americans, now you say you've never heard of defunding the police. Your own report recommends it on page after page after page. Let me ask you about something else you say. Here's what you say we ought to invest in. Instead of funding the police, here's what we ought to invest in. We need to invest in programs that acknowledge the need for safe space initiatives
Yes.
led by lesbian, gay, bisexual, two-spirit, trans, and gender nonconforming people. What's two-spirit?
Well, look, you guys are pulling some interesting quotes.
This is from your report.
If you look at the report, the focus is on investing in violence intervention, outreach workers.
What is you
victim
say? You
service.
say that you shouldn't invest in the police,
So,
but we
yeah,
ought to
so
invest in two-spirit Community programs that acknowledge two-spirit.
Look, we are not going to discriminate.
What is that?
We're not going to discriminate against any nonprofit.
What is a
help us
two-spirit?
prevent violence in
What
our
is
community.
two-spirit? You say don't fund the police, but do fund programs that create safe spaces for two-spirit people. What is? I just want to know. I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is.
Well, I honestly, I'm not completely aware of the language. Or
You wrote the
spirit of how that was
report?
written. But what I'm telling you is that what
What is a
advocate for-
two-spirit individual? I mean, really, this is your policymakers playbook. You are the witness called by the Democrats on this committee, so I assume you reflect their views.
Well,
you don't want to fund the police. You want to fund safe spaces for two-spirit individuals. What is a two-spirit person?
I feel like I'm looking at a two-faced individual because you talk about
Oh, no,
reducing
sir.
violence.
You're looking at somebody who's
You're also
reading you
speaking
your
out
own words,
against
and I'd like to hear an
violence
answer.
programs.
Here's the answer. The answer is you don't have any solutions. You want to invest in gobbledygook and take away money from police officers who actually keep our communities safe, and when you're called on the record, you deny it. It's
We
all there in
invested
black
in
and
law
white,
enforcement.
and your
We
record is
invested
there
in
in black and white,
communities.
and it's a disgrace.
We reduced homicides by 31%, and as someone who's been shot and nearly killed, I take offense that you would think that
I
the
take
last
offense
13
that you won't
years
answer my
we're not
question,
focused on
that you
reducing
deny your
violence.
own words, and that you are leading this committee astray. And frankly, sir, your policies are absurd. They're absurd.
I don't think we're getting any place, so let's,
Wow. Thanks to everyone for coming today. Miss Cook, I want to say a big thank you to you, especially. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing your story. I'm really sorry about what happened to you and your family. It means a lot that you're here today. Thank you so much. Now I want to talk about some of the rules and ideas that got us to this point. Mr. Jackson, let me start with you. You worked in the White House during President Biden's time, right? You were helping with things about gun violence, and were also a special helper to the president. Is that right? Yes, sir. And you're also part of the Community Justice Action Fund, right? Yes, I'm a gun violence survivor too. You used to be the boss there? When was that? From 2021 to 2023. Are you still working with them now? Yes, now I help as an advisor. Okay, so this Community Justice Action Fund. Do you tell people who gives you money? Yes, we do. All the donors are public. You get money from a group called Tides Advocacy too, right? Yes, they help with things like our staff and office stuff. That group gets money from George Soros, doesn't it? Well, he gives money to the Tides group, yes. They help many other groups too, like 300 of them. So your group is one of those, and he helps fund that group. Okay, just wanted to make sure we understand that part. Now let's talk about some of the ideas you've talked about before, like not giving money to the police. No, hold on. I haven't asked the question yet. I've got lots to ask. So let's talk about this report you wrote when you were the boss at Community Justice Action Fund. It's called a Policymakers Playbook. I want to add this to the official record. Okay, thanks. In the report, you wrote that we should take money away from the police because we need to change how the government helps people. You also said that police hurt people with too much racist and unfair policing, and we shouldn't give them more money. Why do you think that taking police away from the people who need the most is a good idea? That's what's happening in cities run by Democrats. Why is that smart? Well, I don't believe in taking money away from the police. But that's what your report says. My old sheriff, Mike Sheridan, taught me how to drive when I was 16. Wait a minute, your report, from when you were the leader, says you wanted to defund the police. Do you take it back now? Do you still believe in that report? You're the second senator to bring up that opinion piece or op-ed. This isn't an op-ed. It's your report. It's called the Policymakers Playbook to Reduce Gun Violence Without Policing Communities. It says Community Justice Action Fund 2023 when you were in charge. Now you're saying you don't know about it? That's just like Democrats suddenly saying they support the police when for years they were saying to defund them. You can look at the report, or do you take it back now? Do you still believe in what the report says? What I believe in is putting $42 billion into law enforcement. But you said before we shouldn't give money to the police. You were the leader of the group that said that, and you still work with them. You've never seen me say that directly. What I talk about is using many ways to stop violence. Like defunding. This is so typical of Democrats. Their ideas clearly don't work. People are dying. And now they act like they never said defund the police. Your own report says it over and over. Let me ask you about something else. You said in the report that instead of paying police, we should give money to programs that create safe spaces led by LGBTQ+ and Two-Spirit people. What does Two-Spirit mean? Well, I'm not really sure. You're quoting some interesting parts. It's from your report. You said we should fund programs for Two-Spirit people instead of the police. The report's main point is to give money to people who work to stop violence in neighborhoods. But you said to fund programs for Two-Spirit people instead of the police. What is a Two-Spirit person? We won't treat any nonprofit unfairly just because they help Two-Spirit people. Okay, but what is a Two-Spirit person? Your report says not to give money to police, but to give money to help them. I just want to know what that means. I honestly don't fully know what it means. I didn't write that part of the report. But what I can tell you is, you don't even know what it is? This is your playbook. You were chosen by the Democrats to speak here, so I assume you represent their ideas. You don't want to help the police, but you want to help Two-Spirit people instead. What even is that? I feel like you're being two-faced, saying one thing and doing another. No, sir. I'm just reading your own words. I want to hear your answer. The truth is, you don't have real ideas. You want to give money to confusing things and take it away from police who protect people. And now that we're reading your words out loud, you pretend you don't agree with them. It's all written down. Your history is clear. We helped reduce murders by 31%. And as someone who was shot and almost died, I'm upset that you think I won't answer your questions. You're not trying to stop violence. You're denying your own words and fooling this committee. And honestly, your ideas are just silly. Totally silly.